when I talk about the NFL and I talk about what teams I believe are really good, have really strong foundations, one of the things I go for is the offensive line. And that's not just because of last year with the Cowboys, but it's just one of those things that consistently plays well, and is a factor regardless of the other products around it. And the only real exception you'll ever find in the NFL of an offensive line being bad and a team being successful is the Steelers in the mid-2000s and late 2000s. But that's, I attribute to Ben Roethlisberger's 6'5", 280 pounds. He could be his own offensive lineman. We saw Sam Darnold and Josh Allen, two of the biggest quarterbacks, and probably, Josh Rosen, the number 1 and number 2 draft picks next year. Them and the kid from BYU are considered to be the greatest quarterback class since the mid-'80s, 1983 specifically, with Elway, Marino, and Jim Kelly. Sam Darnold struggled for all 4 quarters. And Josh Rosen, we'll get into him in a second, struggled for 3 of those quarters. And people were going crazy on Twitter. Oh my gosh. How do the scouts say these guys are the number 1, number 2 picks? They're not even that good. They're getting crushed right now. They're playing so poorly. Well, yeah, because you know what they don't have in front of them right now? USC is coming off a year where they lost 3 of their starting offensive linemen. One of the reasons I used to never be able to get into college football is it always irritated me that it's like you could get a great player and it's like at max. Most guys aren't great true freshmen, usually sophomores when they start to break out. And then if you're lucky, you get a great junior out of them, and they'll probably go to the NFL. Sometimes you get 2 great years out of them. He's playing behind 3 brand new starters, inexperience. There's no consistency amongst the 5 offensive linemen. So you struggle because you cannot do much. I don't care if you can throw the ball 60 yards sitting on your ass, because as soon as the defense puts you on your ass, you can't throw the ball no more. And that's what Sam Darnold had to deal with, is playing with a receiver. He has skill. At skill positions, he has talent. But up front, there's just not enough talent to maximize his own potential and maximize his own success. And the same thing with Josh Rosen yesterday. Outside of an insane 4th quarter, he was having the same exact issues. If you look at it, though, it's almost, if you want to spin it into a positive, if you're going to be the 1st and 2nd overall pick in a draft, it's kind of what life's going to be like for the next 2 to 3 years. Because you know what the best part of being the number 1 or number 2 overall pick in a draft is? You go to a real bad team. Real bad. And you know what you're going to spend your first 2 years doing? A lot of on your ass. A lot of, well, we can't throw the ball anymore because they're just getting through every play. Well, let's just turn around and hand the ball to the running back. Oh, and now he's on his ass. Awesome. UCLA came into the year with what was its best group? Its defensive line. And you know what they get to do every practice? Beat up on their most questionable unit, their offensive line. So now I've got 5 guys who really aren't that confident, really aren't that good, and they spend all practice getting beat up by guys that are better, more skilled, more confident. It's kind of like, they say bullies, like the old adage, bully stealing candy. This is literally the bully stealing candy, and you just keep throwing up worse and worse and scrawnier little kids to get beat up and lose their candy. Look at teams that have great offensive lines. Alabama, who's been the most successful team the past decade. What did they do? 24-7 over number 3 ranked Florida State. LSU, what did they do? 27-0 over BYU. College football is a far more schematic game and is a far bigger influence from your head coach than the pros are. What's the only thing that lets you not have to worry about schematics or your coaching or your game plan? When I can put 5 guys who are 6'4", 6'5", 320 pounds and can just physically move guys out of their way. What did Ohio State do against Indiana? That wasn't Ohio State's best game. That wasn't their A game, wasn't their B game. They played basically a C game, but their offensive line played well enough. They got to just move guys out of the way for their true freshman running back who got 160, 170 yards rushing. When you got 5 guys up front who can just be like, okay, what's the game plan? Move. That helps. And especially when you've got quarterbacks that you've got a Sam Darnold, you've got a Josh Rosen who have all this talent. They need time to throw. You need to be able to set up the offense. And if you're not able to, what was the quarterback for Houston? Dan Pastorini. You know what Dan Pastorini's best moment of his career was? This was during the middle of his career, and he was considered a good quarterback, but Houston never had an offensive line they could put behind him and put in front of him. So what did he do? He sold mattresses. And why did he sell mattresses? Because he knew what it was like to be on his back 90% of the time. And the mattresses sold out. Don't be Dan Pastorini. Don't sell mattresses. Get yourself an offensive line. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. YouTube, SoundCloud, and iTunes. Also, don't forget to follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter. If you'd like to see more videos, click right here on my chest. And I will see you guys next time.